Hello fuckers! Great news, you can now swear on YouTube without them demonetizing you. I think I will continue to bleep most things though. There's an alarming amount of kids that watch this channel. I get people coming up to me all the time and saying, me and my son love watching your channel. He's only 6. And I'm like, shouldn't he wait till he's 15? Today we're doing a lovely informal video because for some reason you all want to get to know the real me, which is kind of 95% of the way of the character that I play online anyway. If only I had some lovely informal headgear to go with my informal video. Ta-da! I am well impressed with these. I think it's the best thing we sell, man. Right, would you believe I had over 1,000 questions? So obviously I can't do them all, but I'm going to skim through a few. Oh, this is a good start. Are you gay? Surprisingly not. Despite the camp hats and the camp jackets and the camp voice and the camp face. No, I'm just a straight man, would you believe? When you inevitably get picked to learn song as fast as possible on Scott's bass lessons, what song would you dread to get? Excellent question. Now, I'm not very good at jazz or metal. I like metal. I'm just not very good at playing it. But I don't like jazz, and I'm not very good at playing it. I think if he came up with something like Frantic Disembowelment by Cannibal Corpse, I'd be in a whole world of trouble. But when you say inevitably gets picked, he seems to be stalling a bit, does old Scott. Maybe you can give him a nudge, him or Yankee Doodle Dipstick. What is the worst gig you've done? Man, there are so many stories I wish I could tell. Let me try and water some down a bit for you. I once played in a pub on Manchester Road in Bradford, which is not the nicest part of the world, and a woman decided she wanted to come and grind her body on my mic stand while I was singing Hot Legs by Rod Stewart. And she hit the mic stand with her buttocks, and the mic hit me straight in the teeth, and I was bleeding out my mouth. And then her husband was stood at the bar waiting to beat me up. Like it were my fault. There was, I'm sure I've mentioned this before, a lesbian bar in Bradford where we played to 3 people and there was a fight in the audience. That was a classic. For some reason I had a gig at Flair's nightclub in Bradford at midnight on St. Patrick's Day, and we played for 2 songs, and in the second song they pulled the plug, but we got paid in full. But weirdly enough, the one that made me think I need to get out of playing all this function band stuff was very highbrow. I once had a gig at Beverley Minster, and the band was a support act for the gold auction for the Lord Mayor. Which is your favourite bass string? I would probably say the A string. That's a good string. Specifically a rotor sound A string. Favourite movies? Italian Job, #1. Best film ever. I like a lot of old classics, you know. Lavender Hill Mob. There's a film called The Titfield Thunderbolt, which sounds like a porno, but no, it's a beautiful 1950s film about a village that runs a railway line. I like gangster movies. A Bronx Tale with Robert De Niro. Beautiful film. And probably my favourite comedy, weirdly enough, is not a classic British film. It's Happy Gilmore. I absolutely love it. And I've not seen the second one yet, but we're having a couple of people around on Monday and we're going to get a big bucket of fried chicken and watch Happy Gilmore 2. Yes! Why do you hate Geddy Lee? I don't. I'm waiting for his bass tone for ages. I think I've done it, haven't I? How do you balance? What does a day of rest look and feel like? And what was the last concept you learned and then taught? Good questions. So I try and work Monday to Friday and then have the weekend off. But always I will overrun and work into the weekend. But on rare days off, I do enjoy going on steam trains, watching football, going to the pub, watching bands, playing snooker, playing badminton. I'm a pretty simple guy, really. The last concept you learned and then taught? Probably how not to be a dipstick. I believe that the bass guitar can be unbelievably... God, this is a long question. Just read it off the screen. Unorthodox. No, I just kind of like songs that are in 4/4 and preferably a major key. And then I like playing kind of 8th notes on a Rickenbacker. I'm very shallow, alright? Do you plan on releasing more songs in the future? Yes. I would love to launch my solo career properly. I'm just too busy making stupid videos every single day. But yeah, definitely. Coming up soon. Will you be adding a catapult to your merch page? It's funny you should mention that. I've just looked up the laws around it. And because it's classed as a toy rather than an offensive weapon, I could technically sell replica Danny Sapko slingshots. If there's actually any demand for that, I will sell them. I will build them out of my bare hands and sell them. If Danny Sapko and Charles Berthoud share the same bed, what happens? I'm not gay. I think we'd probably just... I don't know. I don't ever want to be in that situation, to be honest. And I'm sure neither does he. What do you smell like? Oh, I am a perfumed ponce. My punk clothes all smell like beautiful Chanel perfume. And I even put these little lavender dryer sheets in me boots and under me hat sometimes. I think my punk credentials have just gone from 0 to -1. Favourite bass brand, Rickenbacker. Probably the nicest brand I've dealt with is Hagström from Sweden. They are just great people to talk to. How can we support you, Danny? Oh wow, thanks to whoever asked that question. Well, I suppose you could buy one of our lovely merch items, run by our independent two-man business, and packaged in recyclable material. Or you could join me on my Patreon or YouTube members area for exclusive content, which I'm planning to do a lot more on, by the way. I currently have a sale on Cameo over the summer where you can get very cheap, personalised messages from yours truly. Or there is a donation link in the description if you'd like to buy me a beer. Do you have any siblings? Yes, I have a taller, more handsome, richer younger brother. And he's a veterinary nurse. He delivers puppies. So that's why I don't talk about him. How big is it? You're not going to make me do this, are you? Alright, let me find a tape measure. One and a half inches. Who would make the better Jedi Master, you or Charles Berthoud? Me. I'd like to say cool stuff like, there's always a bigger fish. I didn't know she was a sex offender based on a true story. Well, that's not the actual title, but I know what you mean. Yeah, it definitely is, but there's no way I can tell it. Not even in a censored way. I'll make you a deal, right? So I've got like 43 Patreon members at the moment. When I get to 100... I'm going to tell you all the story on there. What year was best for music? Probably like 1957, 56, 57, when rock and roll was invented. How many fluid ounces of water do you drink per day on average? Why the hell do you want to know that? I don't really know in fluid ounces. I tried to get 2 litres of water a day. Why is your face on Thomas's face? You obviously don't watch the channel enough, Norman6314. Choo-choo, you bastards! When's the Danny Sapko versus Charles Berthoud pillow fight? I'm not forget it. What's your favourite pint to get in a pub? Now we've got a proper question. I like some real crappy plastic ales, man. Like Tetley's and John Smith's. Sometimes with a hint of lemon. I also like a Guinness in the winter. Or like when the World Cup's on or something in the summer, I just drink crappy bottles of lager. But actually my favourite beer ever is Bluebird Bitter from Coniston Brewery. And I'm going to have a pilgrimage there one day, right? Because on the back of the bottle it says something like, best served at 8 degrees Celsius in a straight glass in the Black Bull Inn in Coniston. And I'm like, wow. And that's the kind of attention to detail that appeals to nerdy men like myself. What's your favourite vacuum cleaner? Henry Hoover, man. Bradford City in the Premier League, or the ability to own any base you desire. Bloody hell. Well, I think I'm going to unselfishly go for Bradford City because, you know, there's like 30,000 people there that'd be very happy, whereas the other option would just make me very happy. Where did you get your hat? Right. This is a limited edition Joe Strummer cap made by Brixton, right? But they were made during COVID, and there was only 500 of them made, and then for some reason they had to destroy 400 from some COVID contamination. So there's only 100 of them in the world, and I've emailed Brixton and said, will you start making some more? And they didn't reply. Bastards. So, to be honest, I am a bit concerned that someone's going to rip this off my head one day and I'm never going to have one again. Do you do Remore bass recording? Is like to hire you for a song or 10. I do Remore bass recording, yeah. And I haven't really advertised this yet, but yeah, for £100, I will play on a 3-minute song of your choice, because I'm very cheap and terrible at business. Just please get in touch at DannySapko.com. Are you a Tory? Well, I don't like to talk about politics at all, but no, I'm definitely not a Tory. Why did you hide from me at the Punk All Dayer in Glasgow? I'm like 2'6", man, and there was thousands of people there. So you probably were just looking too high. Should have looked down and you would have seen me. Would you like to be a guest at my wedding? Yes. I love weddings. I think it's just an excuse for a big party. However, as long as you're in Yorkshire, I don't like leaving Yorkshire ever, under any circumstances. So yeah, if you're having a Yorkshire wedding, yes, I will come. Weirdest thing seen at a show. I don't know if I can tell this one. Yeah, let's do it. So I saw a band called the Soap Girls in Bradford, and the 2 female members urinated in a bottle and then invited someone on stage to drink it, and they did. How short are you? Very. Why haven't you posted a Baystone video in a while? Okay, I'm kinda waiting till I can afford to upgrade a lot of my gear. It's very hard to replicate a Warwick when you don't have a Warwick. And so I just felt like a lot of them I was doing weren't very good. So I will return to it because I know a lot of people are asking for 500 days plus for some of these videos. Just stay tuned, I'll sort it out, I promise. Where do you think Bradford will finish next season? Mid-table? I think that's realistic. Do you smoke? Smoke what? Could you see my eyebrows then? No, I've never really liked cigarettes, so I haven't bothered with them. I do like the occasional cigar. I sometimes have some of them little miniature Cubans on a very special occasion, like my visit to Hull. But I mean, they're not cigars really, they're more just like jumped up posh little fags. Which reminds me, I need to tell you the story of when I met Charles Berthoud. Because I was smoking him at the time, I mean. What did you think I meant? So he very kindly got me and my partner free tickets to his show. I've still got the souvenir. And that was at Islington O2 Academy in London. And we went to go backstage, showed our passes. They let Bradley Hall through, and they wouldn't let us in. So I arranged with Charles to meet him afterwards. And it were pouring down with rain in London. And this was like 11 o'clock on a Sunday. And all the pubs in Islington were closed, which is bizarre really. So we had to take him back to my hotel, not in a gay way. I'm not gay. Me and my partner and Charles sat in the Premier Inn bar at midnight. I had a beer and he had a tap water, which is fine. And we had a right good chat. I mean, all jokes aside, he's a very, very nice guy. And there was a very funny moment where I was asking him, he says he lived in Boston in the USA. And I was like, oh, why do you live there? And he kind of looks at me and mutters, because that's where Berkeley is. How do you deal with being a sex symbol? Well, it hasn't been too overwhelming so far. How would you change if you became more popular than Davey504? You deserve to be, by the way. Oh, thank you very much. Okay, I'm going to answer this quite in depth, actually. The best thing I ever did was to start to be myself online. I spent years just trying to do what everyone else was doing and getting nowhere. And so I'm just going to continue to do that no matter what level I get to. And I was thinking about this. I was like, do I have responsibilities as I become a bigger channel? Do I need to act in a different way? But no, I will just continue to be myself forever, for better or worse. But yeah, I'm pretty sick and tired of Davey504 ruining the bass community. I think I'm ready to overthrow the king, don't you? Just looks like I'm going to have to step into his size 13 shoes after he's shat in them. Settle and Carlisle line, northbound or southbound? This is a very niche question. Southbound, sat on the right of the train. Sort of starting in daylight and coming into Bingley just as the sun's setting. Magic, man. Do you like Slade? What does Ian Martin Allison smell like? America. I play punk bass on a Bronco and I want to know if it has the Danny Sapko seal of approval. Yes. Favourite loco? Class 37, man. Big, loud, ugly. Hi Danny, when will it be possible to order from the EU again and support you? Well, thank you for the question, but I have no answer for that. It's bloody annoying, man. It's like they suddenly changed the law and made it very difficult for people from Britain to sell things to people in the EU. And that includes anywhere in Ireland. I can't send a t-shirt from here to Belfast. So we're trying to find a way around it, but there's nothing legally at the moment I can do. I'd have to hire another member of staff that lives in the EU just to answer any safety questions that you all have and provide safety labels for every single product. It would be a nightmare, so I just can't do it at the moment. I'll find a solution, I will. Okay, last one. When your pants are more patches than pants, are they still pants? I am very proud of these, man. They're not finished yet, but let's have a little tour. So a lot of people have non-functional belts. So that means that they have an actual belt and then they just wrap another one around them. And I hated that. It pulls me bloody trousers down. So what I've done, I've sewn on the top of another pair of jeans. And so I can have 2 belts on them. And they're still blue at the moment. I'm going to paint that bit black. And then I've done a lace-up crotch here from an old pair of Converse. And I've kept all black, white and red patches front and back. Still got some gaps to fill. On the first pair that I tried making, I did all the patches myself, stenciled them all out and painted them. And by the time I'd washed them once, they were wrecked. And yeah, I do wash them. I've heard some horror stories of DIY punks never washing their stuff. So with anything DIY I make now, I just wash it inside out in the bath, like hand wash it. And all my stuff smells beautiful. Hey, and Bradford City are 2-0 up at half time. I should be at the game, not talking bollocks to you. I'm going to go watch the second half on Now TV. Goodbye.